Thank you. Oh, you're shy? Peach, you ready to talk about this, Peach? Are you ready though? Oh, yes. You think you're at a good stage in your life that we can talk about this? Yes. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we are going to be talking about Peach's heat cycle. I've never owned another female dog prior to Peach. The first time that she did get her period, everything was really new and there was a lot of figuring out that I had to do from my end. And now I feel like we're at a point where I know what to expect. I know what products worked best for her. I know what to look out for. And I thought that it would be a great opportunity to share a little bit about this with you guys. Hopefully I can help anybody out that maybe has, you know, a little puppy and is not really knowing what to expect, or is already going through their dog having their first heat cycle and just is a little bit curious to know more about it. So if you guys are interested in knowing all about Peach's heat cycle, please keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. If you're new here, welcome. A female dog cycle has 4 stages, and that is proestrus, estrus, diestrus, and anestrus. There's a lot of estruses here. And you're probably more interested in proestrus and estrus because that's when most of the bleeding happens, but I think it'd be beneficial just to give you guys a timeline so you guys understand what's actually going on in your dog's body. So the first phase of your dog's cycle is proestrus. During proestrus, this is when your dog is producing a lot of estrogen in preparation for ovulation, and this estrogen is helping and promote the growth of her ovaries and the follicles in her ovaries. Now this phase can manifest itself in your dog by them having some discharge or their vulva becoming a little bit more swollen. I know that Peach is about to start her heat cycle when I see that she is swollen. So that is a very good indicator for me, because that's when I know I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure that I have her diapers ready. I know what to expect. Gotta get her blankets. Now, for some dogs, they are very, very good about keeping themselves clean. So anytime there is any discharge, they might, you know, clean it up right away. So some owners might not catch it right here. But, you know, generally if they do have a swollen vulva, that's a good indicator that your dog has started the beginning of her heat cycle. In this time, I'd say that Peach is definitely more affectionate with me. And I also noticed that she is a lot less patient with Dante. So she, you know, she generally doesn't mind, you know, Dante being all up in her space. But when I know that she's about to start her period, she does not like for him to be around her. I honestly think that it's because, you know, she's releasing like these pheromones, so she probably smells differently than she usually does, and Dante is very interested in that. So yeah, let's just say that Peach does not like when Dante is all up in her space during this sensitive time. She does not like it. She'll literally like tell him off. I wish I had recorded it, but it's like nothing I've ever seen before, because Peach is so laid back. Like she really does not care. But during this time, like no, like she's like so fed up with Dante, she can't stand him. But she's affectionate with me, so that's a little bit of what happens, how I see Peach during this phase. So the second phase of your dog's cycle is the estrus phase, and during this period is when your dog can become pregnant. It usually lasts between 1.5 to 2 weeks, and during this time you will see discharge. You will see your dog's vulva continue to be swollen. What I noticed with Peach is that she has to use the bathroom very frequently to urinate, and what's interesting about this is that during this period when your dog does this and they're constantly having to go outside, it's because they're trying to signal to other males in the area how their reproductive state is. And it's said that during this period your dog is flirting with other males, which is kind of interesting. Peach, didn't know you could do that, girl. Look at her. Girl, you have no care in the world? Is that true? You try to flirt with dogs around the area, girl? No way, Jose. No way, Jose. Now the third phase of your dog's cycle is called diestrus, and this happens right after what is considered to be when your dog is in heat. So during this time, your dog is no longer fertile, and you know, their vulva is returning back to normal size. Things are pretty much wrapping up. One more thing to add. During diestrus, your dog is either going to return back to normal and start, doing the repairs that she needs to do in her body, or she's going to become pregnant. So that's one thing to know. Now the last phase is called anestrus, and during anestrus, this is considered to be the resting phase, in which nothing is really going on. So there's like no discharge, everything is back to normal. And this is the phase that lasts the longest until it reaches the beginning of your dog's cycle, which is the proestrus phase. And then just keeps repeating over and over and over again. So female dogs in heat during the estrus phase will continue to display signs of being in heat for 3 to 21 days, and on average 9 days. This varies greatly depending on, the breed, size of your dog. Fun fact is that smaller dogs actually get their period much more often than larger dogs do. It's even known that some large dogs only get their period or only go in heat for every 12 months. For a peachy girl, she goes in heat every 6 months. So I know to expect her period around that time. Now, when she was just a little itty bitty puppy and she was approaching her first heat cycle, she wasn't very consistent yet. So she actually got her second heat cycle, or she got her second period a little bit sooner than expected. So I think that she got it with a 5-month gap in between. And I actually spoke to her breeder because I became concerned because I didn't know much about it. I wanted to make sure that she was like okay and that her schedule was right. And her breeder was so gracious and she let us know that this is completely normal until she matures fully. Now I want to share a little bit of tidbits of advice, I guess, or tips that really helped me from some trial and error. So the first time Peach got her period, I got her disposable doggy diapers. And the thing is that they didn't work very well because Corsos have a very muscular, they have a very muscular body type, and in some areas it's more defined than others. So they don't have the same body composition that like most dogs have, right? So the diapers were very, they just didn't work well because they wouldn't fit her properly, even though it was supposed to be for her size. And they would be constantly falling off and I'd constantly have to change it, and it was just a nightmare. So I had the idea of making my own DIY diapers. So what I did was I got her some kids underwear and I cut a hole where her tail would be, and I put in a sanitary pad. And that worked out really well for a little bit because it was nice and tight on her. It wouldn't just slip off real easily until the fabric stretched after washing it over and over again. And then it was just very, it just wasn't very good at staying on her, especially because Peach, even though she's on her period, she's still wild and she still loves to jump and play around in the house and, be Peach. So that also didn't work, which led me to the best solution, which is what I'm going to share with you guys, which was to purchase some reusable diapers. And I got these off of Amazon. I'll make sure to link them in the description in case you guys are interested in checking them out. Now, what's great about these diapers is that they have Velcro straps and they are made out of like a very durable material. That's something that I was concerned about, and I must admit that I kind of delayed in picking the reusable diapers because Peach is a very large dog and she bleeds a lot. So it's, I kind of thought it was gross to have reusable diapers and have to take them out and put them in the washer. So that's why I kind of like held off on getting reusable diapers, but I got the reusable diapers, and what I did is a combination of the other things that I tried out. So I ended up getting the reusable diapers and putting a sanitary pad in the diapers so that she would actually bleed onto the pad, which I could switch out, and the diaper was what would hold everything in place. So yeah, I think that that was the best solution. That's what I've been using for her going forward, and what has been the best for her. As I mentioned before, the diapers are super they're made out of a really good material, and they're made out of they're not made out of cloth. It doesn't feel like, the type of cloth that if something gets wet, it'll stay wet. It feels like it's kind of like almost like a dry fit material, but very sturdy dry fit material. So those are really worked out. And then with the combination of the pads, I mean, it was good for Peach. I can say that I feel really happy with that solution that we found out together, because I think that it is a little bit more cost effective. I had to buy the disposable diapers once, and then yes, I mean, I do have to buy pads, but it's really not as expensive as dog diapers. So I just get her some like nice and thick ones because she does bleed a lot. And that's what worked out. Let's talk about the bleeding. Yes, it's a lot. You know, Peach is considered to be a little bit more on the smaller side for a Corso, but she's still a large, giant breed dog. And she does bleed a lot. You know, I think that's one of the things that I was the most impressed about, like, because I've never had a female dog before. It's like a lot, you know, like it really is. So with that in mind, I just make sure that I give her breaks between her diaper usage, make sure that she can air out her privates and not be like stuck to wearing a diaper every day. So what's great about the sanitary pads is that you can switch them out. So if, you know, the diaper itself doesn't get dirty, all you have to do is switch out the pad itself. So that's what I did with her. But going back to what I was mentioning before, because she does bleed a lot, I like to give her a chance to have a break from wearing the diaper. And, you know, of course we take it out every time she goes outside. At night before we go to sleep, I like to put her in the tub and, you know, clean her with some lukewarm water, just water, and then give her a fresh pad, you know, all fresh, and then she can go to sleep. Now, also another thing that I did was I had some like reserved towels and blankets for her to use while she is on her period, just in case, you know, because accidents happen. You know, maybe she just came back from going outside and she doesn't have her diaper on, or, you know, she went to sit somewhere, whatever. So in the areas that I know that she likes to hang out in, I would just put like towels down there or blankets. And does it look aesthetically pleasing? Not really, but it's not for a long time anyway. And speaking of time, Peach usually will bleed for about 3 to 4 weeks. And the heavy bleeding obviously happens like kind of towards the beginning, and then it phases out. But she, you know, she will still have some kind of discharge towards like the 3-4 week-ish mark. In terms of her personality, really nothing much, there's no like drastic change other than what I mentioned before. So she is much more affectionate with me, super clingy. She always wants me to be scratching her. And she is very short-tempered with Dante. So that's really all I noticed about her personality. But you know, she doesn't look like she's like uncomfortable or in any pain. Regardless, you know, I always try to make sure that she's as comfortable as possible, which is why I give her little showers at night during that time. But she acts normal for the most part, and we can still do a lot of the things that we do regularly. So I'll still take her out with me to stores, of course wearing her diaper, which I wouldn't have done as long if it weren't very secure and I knew it wouldn't fall off. So we'll still go to stores, we'll still do our stuff together, and she's totally fine. Like she's great. Of course, precautions are to never let your dog be around an intact male if you're not planning on breeding them while they are fertile in that phase. So that's something I always keep in mind. Like if you are somebody that likes to go to dog parks a lot, don't take your dog to a dog park. They are in heat. So that's one thing to consider. But aside from that, really, that's it. I think that the hardest thing for me was figuring out what kind of diaper fit her best, because until I figured out what diaper fit her best, there were definitely some messes that had to be cleaned. But I mean, there's nothing that can't be fixed with some OxyClean or bleach, right? So, I mean, that was the only thing that I would say was a little bit stressful. Things were resolved very quickly once I found the best diaper for her. So, yeah, I would say that's pretty much it. In terms of breeding, I know nothing about that, so I'm not gonna talk about that. Regarding having other males in the house with your female, Dante is neutered, so we never had that concern. I never had the concern that there would be an accidental pregnancy. However, speaking to other people, I do know that if there is a male dog and a female dog, the male dog is like incessant and is constantly trying to be with the female. So I would say that in that situation, crate training comes really in handy, and it really comes down to a matter of management. You know, you just got to keep your dog separated until the female is no longer fertile. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. But I hope that you guys found this video helpful. I would love to hear what you guys have done when your dog goes in heat, things that were helpful for you, anything of that nature. Go ahead and comment it down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. So yeah, maybe any advice that you give could be really helpful for anybody else that's trying to look for some help. So yeah, that's pretty much all I would say. Don't forget to check out the courses over at Fenrir for anybody that is looking to refine some things with their dog or just want some more information. Please check out the links in the description box below if you're interested. And don't forget to check out our merch. We have a bunch of cute things there. We have cute stickers of Dante and Peach with their little cartoon on it. So if you want to support our channel in that way, please go ahead and check that out. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and it was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and see you guys until next time. Bye!